It begins not just with a whistle, not just with a football, but with a heartbeat. A heartbeat that echoes across continents, through generations, through stories told at dinner tables, in schoolyards, in the smoky air of corner cafes. It begins with Istanbul, the city that breathes football, Galatasaray and Fenerbahçe. Two names that are more than clubs, they are emotions. They are fire and water, east and west, pride and defiance. This is not just a derby. This is war painted in red, and yellow, blue, and yellow. A rivalry so intense it splits families, divides neighborhoods, yet unites an entire nation in passion. Galatasaray was born in 1905. Founded by students from the prestigious Galatasaray High School, it carried the intellectual, European identity of Istanbul's elite. It was a club of culture, of strategy, of ambition. On the other side, in 1907, emerged Fenerbahçe. Founded in Kadıköy on the Asian side, it stood for resilience, for the common people, for rebellion against the status quo. If Galatasaray was the chessboard, Fenerbahçe was the battlefield. Their first official match took place in 1909. Galatasaray won, and the fire was lit. Since then, every meeting has been a storm. Goals are not just goals, they are declarations. Fouls are not just fouls, they are battles. And every win or loss is etched in memory like folklore. But this rivalry is not built only on moments of violence or tension. It's built on greatness, on legendary names. Let's start with Galatasaray, Hakan Şükür, the king, the one who soared highest in the red and yellow. With over 200 goals, his name is synonymous with Galatasaray's golden era. Then there's Hagi, the commander, a Romanian magician who didn't just play football, he conducted symphonies with his left foot. Fatih Terim, the lion. Not only a player, but a legendary coach who led them to their historic UEFA Cup victory in 2000, the first and only European trophy for a Turkish club. That victory over Arsenal, it wasn't just a win. It was an earthquake. It was Turkey announcing, to Europe, we are here and we are not backing down. Fenerbahçe answered not with silence but with strength. Alex de Souza, the Brazilian general. A player who turned the Şükrü Saracoğlu Stadium into a cathedral. Dirar, Tunçay, Lefter Küçükandonyadis, the great Lefter, whose name still echoes in chants, in tears, in songs. Fenerbahçe built its identity on power, on raw energy. Where Galatasaray mesmerized with flair, Fenerbahçe overwhelmed with passion. While Galatasaray ruled the 90s, Fenerbahçe dominated in the 2000s. They broke records. They shattered dreams. They were relentless. The rivalry extended beyond league matches, Turkish Cup clashes, Super Cup finals, and unforgettable friendlies that turned into fiery brawls. Every encounter had something. A red card, a late goal, a fight, a miracle. One such miracle? May 2012, the title decider. Galatasaray needed just a draw. Fenerbahçe needed a win. The match ended 0-0. Galatasaray lifted the trophy on Fenerbahçe's own pitch. That image of Galatasaray players celebrating in Kadıköy, surrounded by police amid fury and flares, is burned into the soul of Turkish football. But let's go deeper. What makes this rivalry so mythical? Why does it feel alive? Because it reflects Istanbul. Two clubs, two identities, two ideologies, locked in an eternal dance. Galatasaray, the bridge to Europe. Fenerbahçe, the anchor to Anatolia. Galatasaray, with their elegant passing, fluid tactics. Fenerbahçe, with their pressing, their aggression, their will. Every derby is a movie. Sometimes a tragedy, sometimes a thriller, sometimes a nightmare. There were dark days too, fights in the stands, flares thrown on the pitch. In 2013, a fan was stabbed to death after a match. A reminder that passion, when uncontrolled, can become poison. But this rivalry is not just about hate, it's about identity. Ask any fan, and you'll see it in their eyes. This isn't just a game, it's legacy, it's ancestry. It's about remembering who you are. The players feel it too. Even foreigners who join either club quickly understand This is not just a paycheck. This is war. This is pressure. This is history on your back. Millions of eyes on your boots. When Wesley Sneijder joined Galatasaray, he said, "I've played in El Clasico. I've played in Milan derbies. But this is different." And it is. Because even the city changes before a derby. Istanbul's air grows heavier. Flags rise from balconies. Tensions grow in offices. Kids wear jerseys to school, ready to argue, ready to dream. It's not just 90 minutes. It's an experience that begins days before and lingers for weeks after, and in those 90 minutes, everything is possible. A legend can be born, a villain can rise, and history is always watching. The rivalry between Galatasaray and Fenerbahçe isn't confined to the pitch. It lives in the streets, in the stories passed from father to son, in the anthems sung from balconies. It lives in the hearts of millions, each heart beating for one side of the Bosphorus, Taksim Square versus Bağdat Avenue, Simbam versus the Yellow Canaries. This isn't just geography, it's poetry, it's political, it's cultural, it's generational, and it runs deep. Consider the fan culture. Galatasaray's Ultraslan, known for choreographies that turn stadiums into operas of passion. Fire, banners, chants synchronized like military maneuvers. They don't just support the team, they embody it. When they sing, the walls tremble. Then there's Fenerbahçe's Genç Fenerbahçeliler, loyal, loud, unshakable. Their banners are declarations of war. Their presence is overwhelming. They bring fire, literally. When the team walks out to Yaşa Fenerbahçe, it feels like the earth is shifting. Both fan bases consider themselves the heart of Turkish football, and perhaps they both are. Let's talk dominance. League titles. Galatasaray holds the edge. As of today, they have the most Super League trophies. But Fenerbahçe isn't far behind. In fact, until the late 90s, Fenerbahçe had the upper hand. Then came Galatasaray's European breakthrough, and everything changed. The UEFA Cup victory in 2000 wasn't just a milestone for Galatasaray, it was a blow to Fenerbahçe's ego. For the first time, a Turkish club had climbed the summit of European football. Fenerbahçe fans watched as their rivals paraded the trophy through the streets of Istanbul. It hurt. It haunted. But they responded. In 2008, Fenerbahçe reached the UEFA Champions League quarter-finals, the furthest any Turkish team had gone in the modern format. They beat Inter Milan. They challenged Chelsea. It was a statement, a reminder, Fenerbahçe is no shadow. Their rivalry now extended beyond Turkey. Now it was a battle for Europe, a battle for global recognition. Who would be the face of Turkish football to the world? The answer depends on the era. In the early 2000s, Galatasaray had Hagi, Jardel, and a golden squad. In the 2010s, Fenerbahçe responded with Alex, Roberto Carlos, and a team brimming with South American flair. But the rivalry also evolved into something even deeper, a philosophical divide. Galatasaray embraced tactical discipline, structured football, European-style strategy. Fenerbahçe leaned into chaos. They thrived in unpredictability. They hunted in packs. Their game was about intensity, impact, intimidation. One club played to outthink, the other to overpower. Their coaches reflected this. Fatih Terim, a philosopher warrior, a man who could rally nations. He led Galatasaray through storms. His passion was volcanic, and his tactics were sharp. Meanwhile, Fenerbahçe's great coaches, like Aykut Kocaman or Zico, brought discipline, Brazilian elegance, and an understanding of how to push the limits. But no derby is just about coaches. It's about moments. Let's revisit some unforgettable ones. Fenerbahçe crushes Galatasaray Saktasıra. The stadium erupts, the city splits. That day is still sung about in Kadıköy. Alta Atak Alta. It wasn't just a win. It was a humiliation. One that Galatasaray fans would never forget. But revenge came. As mentioned, Galatasaray wins the title in Kadıköy. The silence in the stadium was louder than any cheer. Fenerbahçe fans wept, Players fell to the ground. Galatasaray players formed a circle in the middle of their rivals' turf and celebrated like kings. That image is burned into memory, and yet they keep coming back. Each year, each season. Hope renewed, hatred reignited. Let's pause for a second. Because this isn't just football, this is therapy. This is ritual. This is where the people of Istanbul, of Turkey, pour their frustrations, their dreams, their rage, and their love. In this city, politicians may divide, economies may crumble. But on Derby Day, everyone knows where they stand, and the players feel this too. It's why so many legends have spoken of this rivalry with Reverend Didier Drogba once said, "I've played in Champions League finals. I've scored in World Cups, but nothing compares to a Galatasaray Fenerbahçe match in Istanbul." Even Arda Turan, a Galatasaray product, described scoring against Fenerbahçe as better than anything. And it's not just the noise. It's the pressure. Every pass is judged, every mistake remembered, every goal immortalized. Now let's zoom out. Look at the global reach. Galatasaray has fans in every continent. From Germany to Indonesia, from Australia to Canada, the Lions roar across borders. Fenerbahçe is no different. Their fan base in the Balkans, in Central Asia, in the Middle East, it's massive. Turkish immigrants across Europe bring this rivalry with them. Local parks in Berlin, Vienna, Amsterdam often witness their own mini derbies. Kids wearing red and yellow jerseys scream at those in navy and yellow. The passion never leaves. Social media made it even bigger. Every match, every goal, every controversial call is shared, debated, memed. Twitter explodes. Instagram stories light up. TikTok dances turn into derby-themed anthems. The digital battlefield is as fierce as the one on grass. And in all of this, there's respect. Yes, hatred fuels the rivalry. But beneath it, there is a respect. Because to be great, you need a great enemy. Galatasaray and Fenerbahçe give each other purpose. Without Fenerbahçe, Galatasaray would not be Galatasaray. Without Galatasaray, Fenerbahçe would lose its fire. They define each other, and fans know this. Even as they scream at each other, even as they throw flares or clash in alleyways. Deep down, they understand. We are part of something bigger, a living mythology, a passion that transcends logic. And now we arrive at today, a new era, a new generation. But the same burning fire. Galatasaray and Fenerbahçe have evolved. The game has changed. VAR decisions, social media storms, sponsors, branding. Football is no longer just a game. It's an industry, a global stage. But somehow, this rivalry, it has remained raw. The names are new. Mauro Icardi, Kerem Aktürkoğlu, Dusan Tadic, Edin Dzeko. But the passion is ancient. These players, whether Turkish stars or international icons, are drawn into the chaos the moment they sign the contract. From their very first derby, they learn, this is not a match. This is trial by fire. The stadiums remain temples. Rams Park, a fortress where Galatasaray fans ignite the sky with red and gold. Şükrü Saracoğlu, a battlefield where Fenerbahçe fans turn the air electric with their song and fury. Even with modern tactics, video analysis, and sports science, nothing can prepare a player for the emotions that surge during a Galatasaray-Fenerbahçe derby, the trembling before kickoff, the roar after a goal, the silence after a missed chance. These moments define careers. Some players are remembered for a lifetime because of one single touch in one single derby, a backheel, a volley, a last-minute save, a red card that turned a match, a goal that silenced a stadium. In Turkey, there's a saying, a season can be forgotten, but a derby can never be. And it's true. Fans measure time by derbies. The year we beat them in their own house, the year they stole it in the final minutes. These memories are etched deeper than birthdays. But beyond the pitch, the rivalry is also economic TV rights, sponsorship deals, merchandising, international tours. Galatasaray and Fenerbahçe aren't just clubs, they're brands, multi-million-dollar operations. Every transfer, every social media post, every jersey sold, carries the weight of their badge, and this means pressure. Pressure on the boards, on the coaches, on the players. Because success is not just about winning, it's about beating the other. A draw against a European giant might be fine, but a loss to your rival? Unacceptable, and this fuels the media too. In Turkish sports journalism, a week of coverage is often dominated by this rivalry. Debate shows explode with arguments. Columnists write like poets. Pundits lose their voice yelling over tactics, referees, and conspiracy theories. It's not analysis. It's theater. Even global networks take notice now. The Intercontinental Derby, as it's called internationally, attracts eyes from Brazil to Japan. The story sells. The images, the chaos, the flares, the chants, are cinematic. And through it all, the fans remain, growing up, growing old, passing their passion down. You see it every day. A father walking his child to school in a Fenerbahçe scarf. A mother tying her Galatasaray son's shoelaces before match day. A grandfather telling his granddaughter about the 1996 championship. A whole culture woven into football. And that's the secret. This isn't just about winning, it's about belonging. To be Galatasaray is to carry elegance, pride, and fire. To be Fenerbahçe is to wear defiance, unity, and thunder. It's a language spoken without words. And every match, every pass, every chant, every tear adds another verse to the saga. Because this rivalry is forever. It doesn't end when the whistle blows. It doesn't fade when the season's over. It lives on, in every retelling, in every jersey hung on a wall, in every sigh when someone says, "Remember that match." It's passed on like a family name, a tattoo on the soul, and as the next generation rises, so does the flame. Young talents born in the academies, dreaming of their first derby, boys in the park shouting, "Ben Galatasaray Liam, Ben Fenerbahçe Liam." Future captains, future legends. The story continues, and Istanbul watches. The city of 7 hills, the city that never sleeps. The city split by a strait and a footballing war. 2 clubs, 1 city, infinite memories. Galatasaray, Fenerbahçe, forever rivals, forever legendary.